Okay, I'm back again. Sorry, I had a phone call come in there. I had to take that. Yeah, so you got any questions, comments on my projects? What's going on? You could do so. Live chat is open. And yeah, so, and just kind of hanging out here. I gotta pick up my daughter in about an hour's time from school. As I was talking about before, I'm on workman's comp. My shoulders have gone really bad. I got tendonitis and calcium buildup in my shoulders, so I've been going for physio. And yeah, that's what happens when you get old like me. I'm in my 50s now, so uh, yeah. So uh, I got a couple projects I'm working on. I'm working on the graphene as we speak. I got to get a new ultrasonic cleaner. The one I have is just too small for what I'm doing. Um, yeah, so the graphene is going pretty cool. I've seen some interesting results with it already, just with the ultrasonic cleaner. So I figure you take the graphite and you do 75% of a solvent, so it could be like acetone or isopropyl alcohol, and then 25% distilled or deionized water. So and you put about 2 scoops of pure graphite into the flask, and then you hit it with the ultrasonic cleaner. So what the ultrasonic cleaner does, it exfoliates the graphite into graphene. So for the amount that I put in that jar, for the amount of the ultrasound that I did apply to it, it looks like its volume is increased. So that shows me that the exfoliation of the graphite is actually taking place. It's working. So I'm going to continue with that with my small cleaner right now. It's not really the one I should be using. I got to get a bigger one that can handle a bigger volume, and it's also deeper too, so I can get the flask to go deeper into the water, right? So as soon as I get that, I should be able. I want to do a test with, say, a full 24 hours of ultrasonic defoliation and take an ohm reading of the graphite afterwards to see how good that graphite is actually breaking down into the graphene. And if it continues on a good track, like if I'm getting really, really positive results on the ohms test, then well, I'm going to start making it into a paste and maybe even sell it. So if you guys want pure graphene, like a good quality graphene, I could probably do that for you guys. Obviously, you'll have to pay for it because it's it takes a long time to get a real high quality graphene. Now, I've also had some ideas too of breaking down other materials other than graphene. And one of them, because I've been studying and working with a lot of magnesium, I might actually start breaking down some magnesium into defoliate magnesium and actually add that maybe to the graphene. So you would have pure graphene and also very, very exfoliated magnesium. So that could actually make that anode or cathode have a charge on it. There would be a differential in power. So you would have one side with just graphene on it, and then the other side would have the graphene but with magnesium in it. And then you put a separator in between that, and guess what? You have a power cell. So there's an idea. That's just off the friggin' top of my head right now. Um, yeah, I think it would actually work. I really do. So, yeah, working on the battery stuff. I'm going to start the next project. It's called Renegade Zero, which means there's going to be no battery attached to the Renegade. It's going to run on its own. And it's based off the Nathan Stubblefield coil. So I'm going to take the Nathan Stubblefield coil to a whole new level. Like like Laser Saber and those guys, they were able to get, I think it was about 1.25 volts, around the 1 volt range. I want to get my Nathan Stubblefield coil up to about 5 volts. So it's going to be a fascinating project. So that's the new project. It's called Renegade Zero. That means no batteries. Well, basically, well, the Nathan Stubblefield coil is an earth battery, but there's no batteries attached to the system. So when you see this motor, you're just going to see the coils in the wheel, and there's no batteries attached to it. There's no out prime mover. Basically, it is a motor without a prime mover because the coil and the power system's all built in as one. So it's a coil, an induction coil that creates the pulse of magnetic field to make the wheel turn, but the coil itself actually makes power like an earth battery or the Nathan Stubblefield coil. So I want to take what Nathan Stubblefield did 125 years ago with his coil, and I want to take it to a whole new level. I want to blow people's I want to knock people's socks off. So I think that's going to be an awesome project. And everybody's going, oh, you're going to have a hidden battery. You're going to have a hidden battery. Oh, it's in the board, or you got the battery hidden in the wheel. No, the coil is the power source. So it's basically a Nathan Stubblefield coil, but I'm going to take it to a new level. I'm going to take it to a way higher voltage potential. And I got some other ideas where, even though that I'm creating the power with, I'm going to probably, I'd like to do 4 coils on this next motor, 4 Nathan Stubblefield coils. Now I'll have, if I can achieve 5 volts from each coil, that's 20 volts. So I could take that 20 volts and put it into a voltage multiplier and get it even higher voltage. And then use the Robert Adams part of that motor and create the reactance in the coil. Now I could dump that in capacitors and actually have it as a machine that's putting power out. Then, just consuming power, it's actually putting power out. So, interesting idea, having a Nathan Stubblefield coil, but in a Robert Adams type motor setup. So I'm going to call it Renegade Zero. So I think that's a really cool name, really cool idea. And I have some really amazing ideas on how to build this Nathan Stubblefield coil on steroids. So now the other thing too is I'm using some interesting materials for in the original Nathan Stubblefield coil. It basically was using cloth rags and just soaking them with the water and also the moisture when he put it in the ground. That just the moisture from the ground would create enough moisture to go into the coil and give it the galvanic action. I have some other ideas that are basically going to make it last basically almost indefinitely. So you won't need, actually, it might even feed off the humidity and just a regular air as well. So it's going to be kind of air battery, kind of Nathan stuff. Yeah, there's so many things going to be going on in this. It's going to be mind blowing when you see it. But the main thing is, I have to make that coil put out 5 volts. If I can get it to put out 5 volts, I'm on a very good track to making this thing actually work. So if I get 5 coils, 4 coils on the motor, yeah, that's 20 volts. And my experiments with the graphite power cell that I did a while, it's in my videos. Using a carbon graphite rod, and then you wrap the magnesium strip around it, and you get about 1.7 volts. So some of that ideas are going to go into this new Nathan Stubblefield coil. So yeah. Any questions, comments? I know 8 of yous are logged in watching my live stream right now. So please give me some ideas. Let's see. Start a poll. Do you guys like the idea of the Renegade Zero? Okay. All right. So hopefully that went through. I would do a poll if people like it. Yeah, we got 10 people logged in. So we're talking about my new project that I want to start. It's called Renegade Zero. So basically, the Renegade device that I had before always had batteries powering the system. Well, the power source is actually going to be in the coil. There's going to be no batteries attached to it. So when everybody sees it, they're going to go, "Hey, no, he's got a battery, under the table, or he's got a battery shoved inside the a wheel, or something crazy like that." To say that I'm using batteries from an outside source to power it. Meanwhile, what's powering it, it's actually the coil. So the coil is based on Nathan Stubblefield. So I think that's going to be a really, really cool project. Yeah, in about 30 minutes' time, I'm going to have to take off. I got to go pick up my daughter from school. So I figure I'd just do this live stream, shoot some ideas out at you guys if you think that'd be a good idea on my ideas. Also going over the graphene I've been making using ultrasonic defoliation. And yeah, so I'm going to try different ways of doing the defoliation with the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm currently using acetone as a solvent to break it down. You could also use acetone. You could use isopropyl alcohol. I even seen people using dish soap, a certain brand. I think they call it Family or something. It's a really dark green. I think another one would work good as Dawn dish soap. That's built for removing oil and grease. So that has a very good defoliation chemistry to it. That might be an option that you could actually do that with graphene and break it down. So I'm using pure graphite right now to make my graphene, and using the ultrasonic cleaner to actually do that defoliation process. But the one I have is way too small. I got to get a bigger one. It's just the one I'm using is made for like jewelry and stuff like that. I need a larger scale one. That's going to be a couple $100 for a decent one, anyways. So I got to get that. And as soon as I get that, then I can start making graphene. And, if any of you guys out there that are listening, if you need graphene, you might be able to order it direct from me. I can make it for you. And yeah, so that could help you with your personal projects. I'm surprised nobody's done any live chat here. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there is people. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Maxwell Chickambuzo. Yeah, I've seen his projects. Lately, they've been really pushing his stuff. Yeah, they've been pushing his stuff. They tried to take him out twice now. He's had two assassination attempts on him. So the way I see it, if they're trying to kill this guy, what he's got is real. It's not bullshit. You do if they know the powers to be, if they know of a device and if they know it doesn't work or they don't think it's a threat to them, then they're not going to touch you, right? Simple as that. They're not going to touch you. Obviously, he's made something that they're worried about. So they've already tried to poison him once, and the other time I'm not sure what they tried to do to him, but I know when he went to the U.S. he was poisoned, and that put him in the hospital for about a month. So I do know. So Chickambuzo, yeah, it's looking like he's the real deal. And here we go. Hold on, I'll be back, guys. I gotta take another phone call here. I'll be right back.